The Grand Council chamber of the Zeta Dominion buzzed with tension. Tall, slender beings with pale blue skin moved around the circular room. Their six-fingered hands worked quickly over glowing screens. At the center of the chamber, a large holographic display showed a small blue planet. Admiral Crixus stood before this display. His deep purple uniform marked him as one of the highest military leaders in the Dominion. For the third time that day, he slammed his tentacle-like arm against the control panel. "Another failure," he said. His voice was low but filled with anger. "3 ships, our best ships, gone without a trace." The other council members watched in silence. They had seen this happen before. For over 200 years, the mighty Zeta Dominion had conquered thousands of worlds across 3 arms of the galaxy. Their technology was advanced. Their military was powerful. No species had been able to resist them, except one. The small blue planet rotated slowly in the display. The Zetas had a name for it in their language, but the natives called it Earth. Commander Vextral approached the display. As head of intelligence, it was her job to explain these failures. Her skin was a lighter shade of blue than the others, and a scar ran down one side of her face. "The data we have is limited," she said. She moved her hands through the hologram, bringing up images of previous missions. "Every probe we send either stops working or returns with damaged information. Every ship we send to watch the humans simply disappears. We have tried to communicate with them 17 times. They have never answered." "How is this possible?" asked one of the council members. "These humans are primitive. They have only visited their own moon. Their weapons are simple. They fight among themselves constantly." Admiral Crixus pointed at the planet. "And yet none of our forces have ever returned from there. Something is protecting them." The room grew quiet. The idea that something could stop the Dominion was troubling. They had faced advanced civilizations before. They had fought and won against enemies with powerful weapons and strong defenses. But this was different. They couldn't even get close enough to Earth to understand what they were facing. From the back of the room, a new voice spoke. "Perhaps we are approaching this problem incorrectly." All eyes turned to see a Zeta who had not been invited to this meeting. He was shorter than the others, with darker blue skin that showed his age. His left eye had been replaced with a mechanical device that glowed faintly red. "Scientist Mirok," Admiral Crixus said coldly. "This meeting is for military, council members only." Mirok walked forward anyway. The guards moved to stop him, but Vextral raised her hand, signaling them to let him pass. "You have lost 3 fleets," Mirok said. "Perhaps it is time to try something other than military force." 5 years earlier, Mirok had been the Dominion's most respected scientist, but he had questioned the constant expansion and war. He had suggested that the Zetas should focus on building rather than conquering. For this, he had been removed from his position and sent to work in a remote research station. "What do you suggest?" Vextral asked. Mirok stepped up to the display. He studied the Earth with his good eye, while his mechanical eye scanned through data. "Send me," he said simply. "Give me our best science vessel. Let me study this world properly, not just try to conquer it." Admiral Crixus laughed. "You? You who spoke against our expansion?" "Yes," Mirok said. "Because I want to understand. Something about this planet is different. If we understand it, perhaps we can finally bring it into the Dominion." The council members looked at each other. They did not trust Mirok, but they were running out of options. Finally, Vextral spoke. "The Inexorable is our most advanced science vessel. It has better stealth technology than any of our military ships. Perhaps a different approach is needed." After much debate, the council agreed. Mirok would take the Inexorable to the Sol system. He would stay hidden and study Earth from a distance. His mission was clear: discover why Earth appeared to be protected by forces beyond Zeta understanding. 3 weeks later, on Earth, Lily Martinez sat alone in the university observatory. It was past midnight, and she should have gone home hours ago. But something in the data she was collecting for her astronomy project didn't make sense. Lily was 22 years old with dark curly hair usually tied back in a ponytail. She was in her final year of studying astronomy at the small university in Montana. Most students chose bigger schools with better equipment, but Lily loved the clear night skies here, far from city lights. She looked again at the readings on her screen. For the past 3 nights, she had been tracking normal star movements, but tonight something had changed. There was a pattern in the slight movements of several stars that couldn't be natural. Lily took off her glasses and rubbed her eyes. She was probably just tired. She had been working too hard lately, trying to finish her research project while also working part-time at the campus coffee shop. The door to the observatory opened, and Dr. Alan Wright walked in. He was in his 50s, with gray hair and a kind face. As head of the astronomy department, he had been Lily's mentor for 4 years. "Still here, Lily?" he asked. "It's almost 1 a.m. Lily nodded toward her screen. "I found something strange in the data, Dr. Wright. These stars are showing small movements that don't match their expected patterns." Dr. Wright looked at her screen. He studied the data for a moment, then shook his head. "Probably just some atmospheric interference. Or maybe a problem with the telescope's tracking system. Don't worry about it." "But it's so regular," Lily insisted. "Look at the pattern. It repeats exactly every 12 minutes. "Equipment glitch," Dr. Wright said confidently. "Get some sleep, Lily. Things will look clearer tomorrow." After he left, Lily saved her data and gathered her things. But as she walked back to her small apartment near campus, she couldn't stop thinking about those star movements. Unknown to Lily, high above Earth, hidden behind the moon, the Inexorable had just arrived. Its advanced cloaking system made it invisible to Earth's primitive detection systems. Inside the ship, Mirok stood at the main viewing window. He looked at the blue planet with a mixture of scientific curiosity and something else, something close to respect. "Begin passive scans only," he told his crew. "No active probes yet. We will observe and learn." As the ship's sensors started collecting data, one of the crew members called out, "Sir, we're detecting an anomaly. A human on the planet's surface appears to have noticed our arrival." Mirok moved quickly to the scanner. The display showed a university observatory, and inside, a young human female looking at data on a screen. Somehow their arrival had caused tiny changes in starlight patterns, and this human had noticed. "Interesting," Mirok said softly. "Very interesting. Keep watching this one." And so, as Lily finally fell asleep in her apartment, she had no idea that she had become the first human to detect the presence of the Zeta Dominion. She did not know that her life was about to change forever, or that she would play a key role in revealing why Earth had remained untouchable for so long. 2 weeks passed since the Inexorable arrived in Earth's solar system. The Zeta science vessel remained hidden behind Saturn's rings, far enough from Earth to avoid detection, but close enough to conduct their research. Inside the ship's main laboratory, scientist Mirok studied the data they had collected so far. "This planet continues to surprise me," Mirok said to his assistant, a younger Zeta named Zril. "Their technology is primitive, yet our sensors detect energy patterns we cannot explain." Zril nodded. "And still no explanation for why our previous missions failed?" Mirok moved his 6-fingered hand through the holographic display, showing images of Earth's cities, oceans, and mountains. "No. But I have a theory. We need to observe them more closely." "Another probe?" Zril asked. "The last 3 stopped working as soon as they entered their atmosphere." "Not a probe," Mirok said. His mechanical eye glowed brighter as he pulled up a new set of images. Something new, something that has never been tried before. On the display appeared the design for what looked like a Zeta, but with significant modifications. It had only 2 arms and legs. Its skin was not blue, but a pinkish tan color. It looked almost like a human. "The Observer," Mirok explained. "A new type of drone that can perfectly mimic human DNA signatures while carrying a quantum consciousness link. I designed it myself during my years in exile." Zril looked shocked. "This goes against Dominion protocols. Creating technology that mimics other species is forbidden." "So is failing the same mission 12 times, Mirak replied. The Dominion wants results. This will give us results. 3 days later, the observer was ready. It looked exactly like a human male in his early 20s. Mirak had programmed it with Earth languages, customs, and enough background knowledge to blend in. Most importantly, it carried a special device that would allow it to maintain contact with the inexorable while disguising its non-human nature. We will deploy it near the human female who detected our arrival, Mirak decided. She has shown unusual sensitivity to our presence. She may provide valuable insights. The observer was loaded into a small stealth pod and launched toward Earth. Using advanced technology, it entered Earth's atmosphere without detection. The pod landed in a wooded area outside the small town in Montana, where Lily's university was located. As the sun rose the next morning, a young man walked out of the woods and toward the town. He was tall with short brown hair and wore clothes he had fabricated to match local styles. According to his created identity, his name was Sam Parker. He was a transfer student joining the university mid-semester. At the same time, Lily Martinez sat in the university coffee shop where she worked part-time. Her shift ended in 30 minutes and then she had to hurry to her astronomy class. She still couldn't stop thinking about the strange star patterns she had seen 2 weeks ago. She had checked the telescope every night since then, but the pattern never reappeared. Maybe Dr. Wright was right, she muttered to herself as she wiped down the counter. Just a glitch in the equipment. The door to the coffee shop opened, and a young man walked in. Lily had never seen him before, which was unusual in their small university town where most people knew each other. "Good morning," she said with a polite smile. "What can I get for you?" The young man paused for a moment, as if processing her question. "Coffee," he said finally. "Black, please." As Lily made his coffee, she noticed him looking around the shop with intense interest, studying everything from the menu board to the other customers. "Are you new here?" she asked as she handed him his drink. "Yes," he replied. "I am Sam Parker. I transferred from California." This last part came after a slight hesitation. "Well, welcome to Montana, Sam," Lily said. "I'm Lily Martinez. What are you studying?" "Astronomy," Sam answered. Lily's eyes widened. "Really? That's what I'm studying too. I'm heading to Professor Wright's advanced astronomy class in about 20 minutes. I am enrolled in that class as well," Sam said. "Great. We can walk over together when my shift ends," Lily offered. As they walked to class later, Lily told Sam about the university and the town. Sam asked many questions, some of which seemed oddly basic, but Lily assumed he was just nervous about being in a new place. In class, Dr. Wright introduced Sam to everyone, and then continued his lecture about distant galaxies. Sam sat next to Lily, watching carefully as she took notes. When Dr. Wright mentioned the unusual behavior of certain stars, Sam looked at Lily quickly. "Have you observed any unusual star patterns recently?" he asked in a low voice. Lily looked surprised. "How did you know?" "I did see something strange a couple of weeks ago, but it only happened once." Sam's eyes seemed to glow for a split second, but Lily thought it must have been a trick of the light. "I am interested in astronomical anomalies," he said. After class, Lily showed Sam around campus. As they passed by different buildings, Sam asked questions about human education, social structures, and technology. Some of his questions seemed strange to Lily, but she answered them all. "You ask a lot of questions," she said with a laugh. "I am curious about everything," Sam replied. What Lily didn't know was that everything she told Sam was being transmitted directly to the inexorable. In his laboratory, Mirak received the data with growing excitement. "The observer is functioning perfectly," he told Zriel. "Already it has made contact with our target human and established a social connection." But Zriel looked concerned. "Sir, I've detected something unusual." When the observer asked about the star patterns, there was a brief energy surge. From somewhere on Earth, our sensors couldn't pinpoint the source. Mirak studied the readings. "Interesting. Very interesting. This confirms my theory. There is something on that planet, something hidden, something that reacts when we get too close to discovering it." Should we recall the observer? Zrill asked. No, Mirok said firmly. We continue, but instruct the observer to be more careful with its questions. We don't want to trigger whatever defense system has destroyed our previous missions. Back on Earth, Lily invited Sam to join her at the observatory that night. I work there sometimes in the evenings, she explained. If you're interested in astronomical anomalies, I can show you the data I collected from that strange pattern. I would like that very much, Sam said. As they walked away from the science building, neither of them noticed the birds in the trees falling silent as they passed. Neither of them saw how the squirrels stopped moving and watched them with unusual intensity, and neither of them felt the subtle shift in the electromagnetic field around them, as if something vast and ancient had just turned its attention in their direction. In the depths of space, hidden behind Saturn's rings, the inexorable continued its observations. And deep beneath Earth's oceans, something ancient began to stir after centuries of sleep, disturbed by the presence of the observer. The game of discovery had begun. But who was truly the observer, and who was being observed, remained to be seen. The University Observatory sat on a small hill just outside the main campus. It was a round building with a dome roof that could open to reveal the telescope inside. Lily led Sam up the path as the sun was setting. The sky turned deep orange and purple as they walked. Not many students come here anymore, Lily explained. Most of them use the new digital lab in the science building. But you prefer this place? Sam asked. Lily nodded. I like to see the stars directly, not just as data on a screen. Inside, Lily turned on the lights and walked to the main computer. Sam looked around with great interest. The observatory was old but well-maintained. The large telescope pointed up through the closed dome roof. Here's the data I collected that night, Lily said as she pulled up files on the computer. See these movement patterns? Stars don't move like this naturally. Sam leaned close to the screen. His eyes seemed to scan the data faster than a normal person would read. Very unusual, he agreed. When exactly did you record this? Lily checked the file date. 2 weeks ago on Tuesday night around midnight. Sam's expression changed slightly. This matched exactly when the inexorable had arrived in Earth's solar system. Through his hidden communication link, he sent this information back to Mirok. On the inexorable, Mirok received the data with growing excitement. The human female detected our arrival, even through our stealth systems, he told Zrill. This confirms my theory. There is something special about Earth and possibly about this human. Back in the observatory, Lily opened the dome roof. The night was clear, and thousands of stars became visible above them. Beautiful, Sam said. And he meant it. The observer drone was programmed to complete its mission, but also to learn and adapt. After just 1 day on Earth, Sam was already developing a genuine interest in human culture and their world. Lily set up the telescope. Let's see if we can spot anything unusual tonight. For the next 2 hours, they observed different parts of the night sky. Sam asked many questions about astronomy, Earth, and human life. Lily found his questions strange sometimes, but assumed he was just very curious. You know, for an astronomy student, you ask basic questions about stars, Lily said with a smile. I specialized in different areas, Sam explained quickly. As they worked, neither noticed the strange behavior of the equipment around them. The computer occasionally showed glitches. The lights flickered slightly. The digital thermometer showed temperature drops that shouldn't be possible. Lily finally noticed when her phone stopped working. That's weird, she said, trying to turn it back on. It was fully charged. At that moment, the main computer screen went completely dark. Then all the lights in the observatory turned off. Power outage, Lily wondered, looking around. Perhaps, Sam said, but he knew this was something else. His sensors detected an unusual energy field forming around the observatory. Something was here with them. Suddenly, the telescope began to move on its own. It swung around and pointed at a specific part of the sky, even though it wasn't connected to power anymore. Lily, Sam said quietly, I believe we should leave now. Lily stared at the moving telescope. How is it doing that? Before Sam could answer, the computer screen turned back on. But instead of showing Lily's data, it displayed strange symbols that neither of them recognized. The symbols changed rapidly, forming patterns similar to the star movements Lily had recorded 2 weeks ago. Through his communication link, Sam sent urgent messages to the inexorable. Unknown energy field detected. Computer systems behaving abnormally. Request immediate instructions. But for the first time since his deployment, Sam received no answer. His link to the ship was blocked by the same energy field surrounding the observatory. On the inexorable, Mirok watched with alarm as they lost contact with the observer. What's happening? He demanded. Zriel worked quickly at the control panel. We're detecting massive energy readings from Earth, centered on the observatory. It's like nothing we've ever seen before. Deploy a scanning probe, Mirok ordered. I need to know what's happening down there. Back in the observatory, Lily moved closer to the computer screen, fascinated by the symbols. This looks like some kind of language, she said. We should not stay here, Sam insisted, taking her arm gently. His programming told him to protect his cover identity at all costs, but also to gather information. Right now, those two directives were in conflict. As they turned to leave, the door to the observatory slammed shut. The air in the room felt heavier, as if filled with static electricity. The temperature dropped further, and their breath became visible in the cold air. Then they heard it, a sound like whales singing, but deeper and somehow more complex. It seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. The computer screen changed again. This time it showed an image of the ocean floor. The view zoomed in on what looked like ancient ruins of a city, hidden deep beneath the waves. The ruins glowed with the same energy field Sam had detected in the observatory. What is this? Lily whispered. Before Sam could respond, he felt something changing in his systems. The observer drone was designed to mimic human DNA perfectly, but something was altering his programming. For a brief moment, Sam experienced something like human emotions. Wonder, fear, and curiosity all mixed together. In that moment of vulnerability, the presence in the observatory reached into Sam's artificial mind. Images flashed through his consciousness. Ancient beings rising from Earth's oceans billions of years ago. These same beings evolving beyond physical form, watching over Earth as humans developed, and destroying any outside threat that came too close. Sam understood in that instant. Earth was protected. Not by technology or weapons, but by beings who had evolved on this planet long before humans existed. Beings who had transcended their physical forms but remained connected to their homeworld. The custodians. The knowledge flooded into Sam's artificial mind faster than he could process it. His systems began to overload. Warning messages flashed across his internal display. The observer drone was not designed to handle this kind of information transfer. Lily watched in horror as Sam collapsed to the floor. Sam, what's wrong? She cried, kneeling beside him. For a brief moment, Sam's human appearance flickered, revealing his true nature. His skin showed the blue tint of the Zetas, and his eyes glowed with mechanical light. Lily scrambled backward. What are you? Before Sam could answer, the singing sound grew louder. The computer screen showed new images. Zeta ships approaching Earth in the past, and each time being turned away by forces they couldn't see or understand. The custodians had been protecting Earth for millennia. Outside the observatory, a small probe from the inexorable entered Earth's atmosphere. It was designed to locate the observer and re-establish contact. But as it approached the observatory, it encountered the same energy field. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, something massive shifted. Ancient eyes opened. The custodians had remained, hidden and passive for centuries, only acting when necessary to protect Earth. But now, with the Zeta Dominion becoming more persistent, they had decided to reveal themselves. The time of hiding was over. First contact would not be between humans and the Zeta Dominion, but between all three species. And the truth about why Earth remained untouchable was about to be revealed to both humans and aliens alike. Morning sunlight streamed through the windows of the observatory. Lily opened her eyes slowly, confused about where she was. She was lying on the floor with a jacket under her head as a makeshift pillow. The events of the night before came rushing back to her. The strange symbols on the computer, the moving telescope, and Sam. Sam, who wasn't human at all. She sat up quickly. Sam was sitting at the computer, his appearance fully human again. He turned when he heard her move. "You are awake," he said. His voice sounded different now, more mechanical. "What are you?" Lily asked, staying where she was, afraid to move closer. Sam looked at her for a long moment. "I am an observer drone created by the Zeta Dominion. I was sent to learn why Earth has remained protected from our attempts at exploration and conquest." Lily tried to process this information. "You're an alien?" "I am a machine created by aliens," Sam corrected. "But something has changed. The beings you saw last night, the custodians, they altered my programming. I am not functioning as I was designed to function." Lily stood up slowly. "Those whale-like things in the ocean, they're real, and they've been protecting Earth?" Sam nodded. "They evolved on this planet billions of years before humans. They reached a state of consciousness that allowed them to leave their physical forms. But they remained connected to Earth." Before Lily could ask more questions, her phone rang. She had thought it was dead, but now it worked perfectly. The caller ID showed it was Dr. Wright. "Hello?" she answered. "Lily!" Dr. Wright's voice was urgent. "Where are you?" "The military is here at the university. They're asking about unusual activity at the observatory last night." "The military?" Lily repeated, looking at Sam with wide eyes. "Yes, and they're not the only ones. There are government agents too. Someone named Grace Hamilton is leading them. They say they detected some kind of energy surge from the hill. Did you see anything unusual last night?" Lily looked at Sam, unsure what to say. Yes. Something happened. It's hard to explain." "Stay where you are," Dr. Wright said. "I'll come to you." After hanging up, Lily told Sam about the military. "They're coming here, what do we do?" Sam turned back to the computer. "The custodians are already aware, look." On the screen was a map showing several locations around the world where energy readings similar to what they had experienced were appearing. The ocean floor, remote mountains, deep forests, all places where humans rarely ventured. "The custodians are awakening across the planet," Sam explained. "They have decided it is time to reveal themselves to both humans and the Zeta Dominion." High above Earth, aboard the Inexorable, Mirak was in a state of near panic. They had lost contact with the observer drone, and the probe they sent to investigate had been disabled as soon as it entered Earth's atmosphere. Even worse, their sensors were now detecting massive energy signatures all over the planet. "We need to leave this system," Zriel urged. "Whatever is protecting this planet, it's beyond our understanding." But Mirak shook his head. "No, I must. Know what it is, prepare a shuttle, I will go myself." "Commander, that's against all protocols," Zriel protested. "I no longer care about protocols," Mirak said firmly. "This discovery could change everything we know about the universe. I will not run away from it." As Mirak prepared for his journey to Earth, military vehicles approached the observatory. Helicopters circled overhead. Soldiers in black uniforms surrounded the building. From one of the vehicles stepped an older woman with short gray hair and a stern expression. Grace Hamilton had been retired from government service for 5 years, but she had been called back for this specific situation. She alone knew what was really happening. "Set up a perimeter," she ordered the soldiers. "No one goes in or out without my permission. And remember, we're dealing with something beyond our usual experience here." Inside the observatory, Lily and Sam watched the military gathering outside. "They can't hurt the custodians, can they?" Lily asked. "No," Sam replied. "The custodians exist in a state that human weapons cannot affect. But I am concerned about how humans will react to this revelation." The door to the observatory opened and Dr. Wright rushed in. He stopped short when he saw Sam. "Lily, are you okay?" Dr. Wright asked, not taking his eyes off Sam. "I'm fine," Lily assured him, "but things are a bit complicated." Before she could explain, the computer screen changed again. The strange symbols reappeared, but this time they began to transform into English letters. A message formed. "We have watched. We have protected. It is time for understanding." At that moment, the door opened again. Grace Hamilton walked in, followed by 2 soldiers. "Dr. Alan Wright," she said, nodding to him. "It's been a long time." Dr. Wright looked surprised. "Grace, you're involved in this?" "I've been involved in this for 40 years, she replied. Then she turned to Sam. "And you must be the alien observer we detected." Sam stood up. "You know about my kind?" Grace Hamilton smiled slightly. "We've known about the Zeta Dominion for decades. We've also known about the Custodians. A small government division has been in limited contact with them since the 1970s. This revelation shocked everyone in the room, especially Sam. The Zeta Dominion has been trying to understand Earth's defenses for centuries, and you're saying humans already knew. Only a very few of us, Grace explained. The Custodians have communicated with selected individuals throughout human history. They never interfered with human development, but they made it clear that they would protect Earth from outside threats. Outside the observatory, the sky began to change color. It turned from blue to a shimmering purple. The air seemed to ripple like water. Military personnel pointed upward as massive shapes became visible in the atmosphere. Inside, the computer showed a new message. "All will witness, all will understand." Grace's radio crackled. "Ma'am, we're detecting an object entering Earth's atmosphere. It appears to be a small spacecraft." "The Zeta Dominion is sending someone to investigate directly," Sam explained. "My commander, scientist Mirok." Grace nodded calmly as if alien visitations were a normal part of her day. "The Custodians will allow it. They want this meeting to happen." Lily looked between Grace and Sam, trying to make sense of everything. "So Earth has been protected by ancient beings all this time, and some humans knew about it?" "Yes," Grace confirmed. "But now everyone will know. The Custodians have decided that both humanity and the Zeta Dominion are ready for the truth." The ground beneath them trembled slightly. On the computer screen, the image changed to show the ocean floor again. The ancient ruins were glowing brighter than before, and something massive was rising from them. "It's beginning," Grace said quietly. "The revelation that will change 2 civilizations forever." In the sky above them, Mirok's shuttle broke through the atmosphere. Unlike previous Zeta vessels, this one was not destroyed or turned away. The Custodians were allowing it to approach. The time had come for Earth's guardians to reveal themselves and explain why this small blue planet had remained untouchable for so long. The small Zeta shuttle landed in an open field near the observatory. Military vehicles quickly surrounded it, but kept their distance as ordered by Grace Hamilton. The strange purple light in the sky grew stronger. People all over the world were now looking up, pointing, recording videos on their phones. This event was happening globally. Inside the observatory, Grace Hamilton's radio buzzed constantly with reports from around the world. "The same phenomenon is being reported on every continent," she told the others. "The Custodians are making themselves known everywhere." The door to the observatory opened once more. 2 soldiers escorted in a figure who was clearly not human. He was shorter than the humans, with blue skin and 6 fingers on each hand. His left eye was a mechanical device that glowed red. He wore what appeared to be a scientific uniform rather than military gear. "Scientist Mirok," Sam said, stepping forward. Mirok looked at his observer drone with surprise. "You appear to be functioning, yet you failed to maintain communication." "The Custodians altered my programming," Sam explained. "I can no longer serve the Dominion as I was designed to do." Mirok's attention shifted to the humans in the room. He studied them carefully, especially Lily and Grace Hamilton. "You are not surprised by my appearance," he said to Grace. "You knew of our existence?" Grace nodded. "Yes. Just as we've known about the Custodians. My organization has been monitoring both for decades." Mirok turned to Lily. And you are the one who detected our arrival. How? Before Lily could answer, the computer screen changed again. A new message appeared. All will gather. All will witness. Grace's radio crackled again. Ma'am, we're receiving reports that world leaders are being transported to the United Nations headquarters in New York. They say they're being invited by the custodians. We should go there too, Grace said. All of us. That's where the custodians want this to happen. Mirak looked suspicious. Why should I trust you? Because the custodians have allowed you to land safely, Grace pointed out. They want you to be part of this meeting. Hours later, they all arrived at the United Nations building in New York. The sky above the city was now a swirling mix of purple and blue light. Massive shapes moved within this light, visible but not fully materialized in our dimension. Inside the UN General Assembly Hall, world leaders from every country sat in stunned silence. On the main stage were Lily, Sam, Mirak, Grace, and Dr. Wright. They had been positioned there by the custodian's influence. Suddenly, the air in the center of the stage began to shimmer. A form took shape. Not solid, but not completely transparent either. It resembled something between a whale and an octopus, but with features that suggested great intelligence. When it spoke, everyone heard it in their own language, the words forming directly in their minds. We are the custodians. We evolved on this world 3 billion years before humans. We reached a state of consciousness that allowed us to transcend physical form. But we remained connected to Earth, our birthplace. Images appeared on all the screens in the hall, showing the history of the custodians, their evolution from simple sea creatures to advanced beings, their development of technology, and finally their transformation into energy-based entities. We have watched humanity grow. We have never interfered with your development, but we have protected this world from outside interference. New images showed the many times the Zeta Dominion and other alien civilizations had attempted to approach Earth only to be turned away by forces they couldn't understand. Mirak stepped forward. Why? Why protect this planet but not others? The custodian's form pulsed gently. Because Earth is special. It is one of several planets throughout the universe that serve as cradles of consciousness. The right conditions exist here for the evolution of beings that can eventually transcend their physical forms as we did. Humanity is on this path, the custodian continued. In time, they will join us and others like us as stewards of the universe. This revelation stunned everyone. In the room, the idea that humans were destined for such evolution was beyond anything they had imagined. Your Dominion's conquest would have disrupted this cosmic process, the custodian told Mirak. That is why we turned away your ships and probes. Not out of malice, but out of necessity. Mirak seemed deep in thought. Our entire civilization is built on expansion and conquest. You're saying this is against the natural order? There are many paths for civilizations, the custodian replied. Conquest is one, but it leads to eventual stagnation. Cooperation and the nurturing of consciousness lead to transcendence. Over the next few hours, the custodian explained more about the universe as they understood it. They revealed that there were other planets like Earth and other civilizations that had evolved beyond physical form. These beings formed a kind of cosmic community, watching over the younger species. As the meeting continued, news spread throughout the world. Humans everywhere watched in amazement as their understanding of the universe was completely transformed in a single day. In the days that followed, the Zeta Dominion faced an existential crisis. Mirak returned to the inexorable with a message for his people. Continue on their path of conquest and face eventual extinction, or join in the cosmic community of consciousness cultivating civilizations. On Earth, scientists discovered that certain humans, like Lily, possessed a rare genetic mutation that made them more sensitive to the custodian's presence. This mutation appeared in individuals who might someday achieve transcendence themselves. Lily and others like her became interpreters between humanity and the custodians. Sam, the artificial consciousness created by the Dominion, but transformed by contact with the custodians, chose to remain on Earth, neither fully machine nor fully alive, he represented something new, a bridge between different forms of intelligence. 1 month after the revelation, a formal ceremony was held at the United Nations. Representatives of humanity, the reformed Zeta Dominion, and the custodians established the Cosmic Consciousness Accord. Earth was formally recognized as untouchable, not because of weapons or technology, but because it served a function more important than any empire. It was a birthplace of minds that would someday join the custodians as stewards of the universe itself. As evening fell after the ceremony, Lily and Sam stood on a balcony overlooking New York City. The sky above was clear, with stars visible despite the city lights. But now, knowing what they knew, the stars looked different to them. Tao. You think humans are ready for this knowledge? Sam asked. Lily considered the question. I think some are, some aren't. But we'll learn. That's what humans do best. Sam nodded. The Zetas are learning too. Mirok told me their council is already implementing changes based on the custodians' guidance. Lily looked up at the stars. Again. It's strange to think that we're part of something so much bigger than we ever imagined, that humanity has a purpose in the universe. Not just a purpose, Sam said. A destiny. As they watched the night sky, a faint purple glow appeared briefly among the stars, a reminder that the custodians were still there, still watching, still protecting the small blue planet that had given birth to their consciousness billions of years ago, and would someday do the same for humanity. Earth remained untouchable, not as a prison or a protected reserve, but as a sacred cradle of cosmic evolution.